Hi, I'm Luna, I'm 16, and while most people see me as just another shy girl, my life is anything but ordinary. I keep to myself, lost in books and daydreams, trying to navigate a world that doesn't quite seem to fit me. But my life is a delicate balance of hiding and longing, and a secret I guard with everything I have. Before continuing the story, please like and subscribe. My family and I recently moved to a small town called Whispering Pines, nestled in a deep forest. My mom, Celine, said it was for a fresh start, but I knew better. She was always anxious, her eyes starting around as if expecting something to jump out at her. She constantly reminded me to
stay hidden and keep your secret.
Okay, back to my secret. Each night as the moon rose, I slipped into the woods and transformed into a unicorn. It's a magnificent form with a shimmering white coat and a horn that glowed like moonlight in the forest. Under the cover of night, I was free, a creature of magic, running wild and unbound. But by day, I was Luna, the girl who avoided mirrors and hid under a hood. I was isolated, not quite fitting in with any group at school. I didn't seek out friends or companionship because getting close to anyone could have put me in danger. So I remained on the fringes, living a double life that was both exhilarating and exhausting. Then there was Jasper. He's an artist with a sketchbook perpetually in hand, always drawing and observing. There was something different about him. His eyes seemed to see beyond the surface, and he had been curiously watching me ever since I arrived. His presence was a mix of intrigues. Unease for me one day after school cornered me by my locker.
Hey Luna, I've noticed you always wear that hood. Is there a reason?
I shrugged, attempting to sound nonchalant, just like it keeps me warm. He raised an eyebrow, unconvinced.
There's something more, isn't there? You're always hiding.
I laughed nervously, trying to deflect. What about you always drawing? Jasper flipped open his sketchbook to reveal a detailed drawing of a unicorn. My heart skipped a beat.
The other night while I was walking through the woods, I found these strange tracks in the grass. So I did a little research, and maybe, just maybe, there are unicorns out there.
I tried to maintain a casual demeanor, though anxiety bubbled beneath the surface. Unicorns aren't real, Jasper. He looked at me, his eyes sparkled with curiosity.
What if they are? What if there's something magical out there we don't know about?
I forced a smile, feeling a sense of dread. Maybe, but I wouldn't worry about it. Despite my attempts to dissuade him, Jasper's curiosity didn't wane. He continued to question me, probing with a mix of genuine interest and persistence. His questions, though innocent, hit too close to the truth and made me uncomfortable. The next day, while I was walking to the local bookshop to get a new journal, I saw 3 men and 2 women exiting a large black SUV, all wearing the same black suit and tie. As I stayed hidden in the shadows, I got close enough to hear them speaking to Whispering Pines local sheriff Marty Luca. They told him they belonged to a government agency of environmental researchers, but their high-tech gadgets and probing questions suggested otherwise. It was clear that they were searching for something, and I couldn't shake a feeling that it might be me. Later that night, I told my mom about the mysterious group of strangers that had arrived. Immediately, my mom's anxiety reached new heights. I watched as she ran to the closet and pulled down an old photo album from behind a row of hats boxes. She fluttered the pages until she stopped at an old newspaper clipping with a photo of the same people I saw earlier that day.
Luna, we have to be extra careful now. The OSS is here, and they're not what they seem.
I looked at her, confused. What do you mean? Who is the OSS?
Office of Supernatural Sightings. They're looking for magical creatures. If they find out what you are, they'll capture you and use you for their own purposes. You must stay hidden.
But I need to go out at night. It's the only time I truly feel alive. My mom's eye is filled with tears.
I know, sweetheart, but it's too dangerous. Please promise me you'll be careful.
I nodded, but in my heart, I knew it was a promise I may not be able to keep. The allure of the forest and the freedom it represented was too strong. That night, I snuck out as usual, but the OSS's presence was palpable. Their advanced sensors and patrols made it clear they were on the lookout for something. My heart raced as I navigated the forest. I was careful to stay out of sight, but in my panic, I accidentally left behind a few strands of my magical mane caught on a branch. The next day, Jasper found the strands while sketching in the woods. He was intrigued, examining them closely. Later, he approached me in the school hallway, holding the strands out with a mixture of curiosity and excitement.
Luna, look what I found. They're different, almost magical.
I tried to dismiss his concerns with a laugh, but Jasper's gaze was unwavering. Magic. Are you sure? He nodded, his eyes serious. Then he looked deeply into my eyes, like he could see right through me.
There's something about you, Luna, and you've been acting so strange lately.
I felt a rush of anxiety. I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on, Luna. I'm not trying to pry. I just want to understand. Is there something you're hiding?
I hesitated, torn between fear and the desire to confide in someone who seemed to care. But the moment was interrupted as my mom approached and pulled me away from Jasper. What's wrong?
The OSS is intensifying their search. They set up traps in the forest. They're using tracking technology, and they're questioning the townspeople.
My mom's fear became even more apparent, urging us to leave town immediately.
Luna, it's getting too dangerous. We need to leave before it's too late.
I crossed my arms in defiance. I'm not leaving. I've been running all my life. I want to stay.
You can't risk everything over a boy. You don't understand how serious this is, Luna.
I do understand, and Jasper is my friend. I trust him. My mom scoffed and walked away, clearly frustrated. I approached Jasper and took a deep breath, my heart pounding in my chest as I looked into his eyes. Jasper, there's something I've been hiding from you, something I thought you could never understand. I took Jasper into an empty classroom so we could talk in private. I'm not like everyone else. I'm a unicorn. I watched his face, waiting for his reaction. Fearing he would turn away, Jasper's face softened and a smile slowly spread across his lips.
I always knew there was something magical about you. Thank you for trusting me enough to share this. You're beautiful, Luna, all of you.
In the following days, Jasper and I spent countless hours together working on a plan to outsmart the OSS. Jasper drew a detailed map to throw them off, and during that time, we grew closer. One afternoon, Jasper voiced a troubling thought.
What if they catch you despite our effort? What if they find out everything?
They want to control me, to use me for their own gain. But having you help me is everything. I've never had someone stand by me like this before.
I won't let them catch you. I'll do everything I can to keep you safe.
His words brought me a sense of relief and hope, but also a growing fear. The OSS's search was becoming more relentless, and time was running out. The night of the final confrontation arrived. The OSS's search had become more intense with advanced tracking technology and sophisticated traps. My mom was even more frantic, and her anxiety made it difficult for her to focus. Jasper arrived with a determined expression.
We have one last chance. If we can make them believe the unicorn has left town, they'll stop searching.
He worked tirelessly through the night, setting up a series of diversions and false evidence. Jasper used his artistic skills to create elaborate fake tracks, leading the OSS in circles. I used my unicorn magic to add an extra layer of deception, making it appear as though I had been everywhere at once. The process was exhausting. We were both drained, but driven by hope and the desire to protect my secret. As dawn approached, the OSS's frustration was evident. They started to back up, convinced they were following a false trail. Jasper turned to me, his eyes filled with concern.
Are you okay?
I nodded as tears welled up in my eyes. I'm just grateful. Thank you, Jasper, for everything. He smiled, though there was a hint of sadness in his eyes.
I'd do it again in a heartbeat. You deserve to be free.
With the OSS gone, my mom's fear slowly subsided, though the threat of their return lingered in the air. As the weeks passed, the town returned to a semblance of normalcy. I continued my life as Luna during the day, but the nights were still mine. Jasper and I maintained our secret meetings, and their friendship grew deeper with each passing day. Then one evening, as we walked through the forest together, Jasper turned to me.
Luna, what do you want for the future?
I thought for a moment, the weight of my dual existence heavy on my shoulders. I want to find a place where I can be both Luna and the unicorn. A place where I don't have to hide. Jasper smiled, his eyes shining with determination.
We'll find it together.
Jasper's presence was a reminder that I wasn't alone, that there was someone who cared about me and believed in my future. In the days that followed, Jasper and I struggled to keep my secret. His sketches captured our magical and challenging journey. One night, as we sat together by a small stream in the forest, Jasper asked,
Luna, what's the most important thing you've learned through all of this?
I reflected on the journey, the challenges, and the moments of connection. I've learned that even in the darkest times, there's always a light. It might come from unexpected places, like a friend who believes in you. And sometimes the magic we seek is within ourselves. Jasper nodded, his gaze thoughtful.
I think you're right, and I believe that with your strength and our friendship, we can face whatever comes our way.
We sat together in the moonlight, the stream's gentle murmur a soothing backdrop to our conversation. Be brave and true to yourself, and confide in those you trust. You'll find comfort, motivation, and solutions. When we connect through trust and creativity, no challenge is too great to overcome. Hello, I'm Laura from Denmark. Please like and subscribe. I don't remember much of my dad, but Mom always told me he was a horrible person. Apparently, when I was just a year old, he said one day he was going to buy milk, and he never came back. And since then, Mom really had issues trusting people. Like, once when I was 4, Mom and I were in the elevator at a shopping mall, and there was a nice lady who kept smiling at me, and Mom freaked out.
Why are you staring at my daughter?
Because she's so adorable.
Keep your eyes to yourself, lady.
Mommy, she didn't do anything.
You can't trust anyone these days. What if she wants to snatch you away?
Although Mom was kind of boring and strict, she tried her best to give me a good life. She worked as a banker, and we lived in the same apartment building as my favorite Aunt Lily. Since Mom worked long hours, I'd stay with my aunt, who only worked night shifts at a restaurant. Aunt Lily and I looked a lot alike with our blonde hair and blue eyes, and she adored me. I loved her too, because she was so much fun. But her daughter Emma, who was my age, didn't seem to like me much. Maybe it was because I had better grades or was more athletic than her. Or maybe she hated that Aunt gave me so much attention. Once in first grade, our moms took us to a Mother's Day function in the neighborhood. There were so many fun activities, like the mother-daughter sack race, but Mom complained that her leg was sore. So my aunt took turns racing with me and Emma. Emma was so slow, but I ended up winning the race with Aunt. When we received a gold medal for winning, Emma went ballistic and pulled it right off my neck.
This is mine because she's my mom.
No, it's not. I won the race. We both started fighting like crazy over the medal, and our moms had to separate us. It was an ongoing battle between me and my cousin, and she could be really evil when she got jealous. Like once in fourth grade, we were on our way to the hairdresser with Aunt, when some lady stopped her and asked if I was her daughter. Emma looked at me angrily, and then tripped me when I wasn't looking. At the salon, the hairdresser went to get her tools, and Aunt left us for a moment to go to the shop next door. Suddenly, Emma crept up from behind me and chopped off my long ponytail.
Now you look like a silly boy.
Emma, why would you do this?
Because my mom is my mom and you need to stay away from her.
I pounced on her and pinned her down, and then I chopped off her hair too. There, now we're even. When my aunt and the hairdresser returned, they were shocked, and Aunt was scared to face my mom since Mom always called her irresponsible.
Gosh! Lily, I can never trust you to do anything right. All I wanted was for her to have a fringe. This is a disaster.
It's okay, Mom. It'll grow back.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen.
Mom refused to hear my aunt out, and she left looking upset. Why did Mom always have to be so uptight? Aunt Lily understood me better than my mom. We liked the same jokes, movies, and many other things. And sometimes I wish that Emma had my mom and I had hers. Like once in 8th grade, I wanted to go to my classmates' party, but Mom flatly refused.
I don't know this girl or her family. How do I know what kind of people they are and why is this party so late at night? No, you're not going.
But Aunt Lily spoke up for me.
Come on, she's a good kid. You can't lock her up forever, you know. Let her go have some fun.
Okay, but if anything bad happens, it's your fault.
I was having an amazing time at the party until someone suddenly fell from the balcony. Luckily, the person ended up on the trampoline. But as she stood up, I saw to my horror that it was Mom. To make things worse, she got off the trampoline, lost her balance, and crashed straight into a food table.
OMG, who are you? You lunatic! I'm going to call the cops on you for breaking into my house.
Do I look like some criminal? You foolish girl! I'm Laura's mom. Oh, there you are, sweetie.
Mom, what are you doing here?
I was just checking if you were safe.
I was the laughing stock of my school after that, and Emma enjoyed every moment of it. When we were in 10th grade, I started noticing that Emma never went straight home after school. So one day I decided to follow her. She went to the park and sat on a bench, and sometime later, a man wearing a cap turned up and sat next to her. What on earth was she up to? This guy looked really shady and I had to do something. Emma!
Laura, what are you doing here?
I was just passing by and I saw you. What are you doing?
Oh, please, Laura. You can't tell my mom about this.
And then she revealed something shocking. The man was her father. I'd never met him before, but I knew Aunt hated him. Emma, your mom will be pissed if she finds out.
I know. That's why you can't tell her.
I tried to stay out of it, but I couldn't help noticing that Emma was acting weirder by the day. She was often sneaking out of classes and missing school. And one day, when her bag was slightly open, I saw that she had a lot of food and some money inside. It looked like she was stealing from Aunt for her dad. I couldn't keep the secret anymore, so I ended up telling Mom.
Oh no, that's bad news. He's not a very nice person.
What do you mean?
He has a gambling problem. That's why Lily kicked him out. I must tell her about this.
Not just yet. Maybe I can stop her from seeing her dad. I'll talk to her. My cousin was stubborn. and I knew she wasn't going to listen to me. So the next day after school, I decided to get to the park before Emma, and luckily, her dad was already there. Listen, mister, I want you to leave Emma alone.
And who are you to tell me what to do?
I'm her family, and you have to stay away from her.
Sorry, no can do. She's my daughter, and if you try standing in my way, I'll come after you and your mother. I can make your lives miserable.
He looked really threatening, but I bravely stood my ground and told him I'd report him to the police. He looked at me furiously before he walked off. When I told Mom about what happened, she freaked out and insisted that we tell Aunt. But when we went to see Aunt Lily, we found her crying with a letter in her hand.
Emma is gone.
What do you mean gone? Emma had written in her letter that she was going to live with her dad because she felt that my aunt loved me more. I was speechless because I didn't know that her jealousy towards me affected her so much. We went out searching for her and had no luck for weeks. One day, I went over to cheer up Aunt Lily, but to my shock, she told me not to visit her anymore. But why?
You knew all this time that she was seeing her father, but you didn't tell me, and now I've lost my only child. Please just go away.
It broke my heart that Aunt hated me now, but I had to give her some space. Months later, I came home from school one day and found a hair clip in the elevator that I knew belonged to my aunt. I decided to slip it under her door, but when I reached her floor, I saw Aunt in the corridor being robbed by a masked man. He pulled Aunt's bag and started running away, but I chased him and knocked him down. And when I pulled his mask off, I saw that it was Emma.
Well done! You just saved your favorite aunt. Where would she be without you?
Emma, I've been looking for you everywhere. Look, if you want money, I'll just give it to you. But please just stay.
Why should I? You already have your perfect daughter, and my dad loves me like you love her.
She grabbed a handful of cash from Aunt's bag, threw it at her, and fled. Aunt and I just stood there in shock, and then she turned to me.
This is all your fault.
What, Aunt, can you please? But she walked off and slammed her door shut, and after a few weeks, she moved out for good without even telling us where. I was devastated, but Mom didn't seem to care.
Good riddance. I always felt she was a bad influence on you, and clearly she's a bad mother. She just had one child to raise, and she couldn't even do that.
No, Mom. She raised two, and she's amazing and understanding, and sometimes I wished she was my mom instead of you. I regretted my words instantly, but I couldn't take them back now, even though I apologized to Mom later. Our relationship was more awkward than ever. After completing school, I started college and found a part-time assistance job at a company so I could move out of my house. One morning, as I was getting coffee, I saw Emma dressed in ragged clothes walking across the road, and I went after her. Emma! She looked shocked at first, and then to my surprise, she hugged me.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you, Laura.
What happened to you?
Soon after I started living with Dad, he stopped caring about me. I even dropped out of school because he wouldn't pay for it.
Because I had to rush off to work. I gave her my address and the keys to my apartment and asked her to wait for me there. But when I got back home, all my things were gone. She had stolen everything from me, even some furniture and all my electronics. Since I hardly had anything at home, I decided to stay at Mom's for a few days.
I'm so glad to see you. You hardly even call.
I know, Mom. I get busy sometimes. I need to sleep over.
Sure, that would be lovely.
She cooked my favorite pasta, and I actually found myself enjoying my time with Mom. Somehow, she just seemed lighter.
With you all grown up, I figured I didn't need to work so hard all the time. I joined a women's group, and we do so many fun things together, so I've learned so much. Talking to my new friends, I realized something. I've never made it clear enough that I think you're an amazing kid, Laura. I'm proud of you.
It felt good to hear Mom say that. I think you're a pretty good mom too, and I'm sorry if I ever made you feel otherwise. I then told her about what happened with Emma, and she immediately called Aunt Lily. When Aunt Lily came over, I took her to the street where I'd met Emma, and when we got there, I saw her again. But this time, she was dressed in nice clothes and was walking into a fancy restaurant. Gosh, she stole all my stuff and bought herself new clothes.
I'm sorry about what she did, but I have to see her.
When we walked up to her table, Emma looked shocked.
Emma, please don't go. Let's talk.
There's nothing to talk about. Can you guys please leave? I have a meeting with someone.
Oh, who do you have a meeting with? Another thief! What did you do with my stuff? Which?
Haha, why were you so stupid to give me your keys? I sold your stuff and my dad has the money. So too bad.
You had a good family, and you threw it all away to become a criminal.
You people are not my family. My dad is, and I'm not a criminal. Just street smart.
Aunt tried her best to talk some sense into her, but she refused to listen. But just as Aunt and I were leaving, suddenly a rich-looking woman barged into the restaurant with cops and pointed straight at Emma.
There she is. She came to work for me as a secretary for 1 week and stole thousands of dollars. I have proof. Arrest her.
Aunt and I were horrified as the cops took Emma away, and we followed her to the police station. Emma tried to call her dad, but he wouldn't pick the cop. The cops looked for him, and it seems like he'd just vanished. They realized he was the real criminal, and Emma was only his accomplice. But she was still given 6 months in prison. Aunt visited her every day, and one day, she came to see me too.
I'm sorry I blamed you all these years for Emma. It was wrong of me to place such a burden on you.
It's okay, Aunt Lily. It's all in the past. After she got out, Emma went back to living with Aunt. I heard she'd started school again, and I was glad for her. Months later, I was sitting in my half-furnished apartment. The bell rang, and I found Emma outside.
I have a surprise for you.
When she took me outside, there was a truck full of all the stuff she stole from me. Wow, how did you manage to get it all back?
Mom helped me get a part-time job, and I saved up for this. It was the least I could do for you. I'm really sorry that I was always jealous of you. Laura and I took advantage of you when you were just trying to help me. I'll be better, I promise.
I think you already are. Now help me get this stuff into my apartment.
Hi, I'm Valerie from Philadelphia. Please like and subscribe. Growing up, I thought I had the coolest mom. She was a professional gymnast who'd won tons of competitions, and I wanted to be just like her, the best at something. But no matter how hard I tried, Mom always said I could do better, and she kept comparing me to others. Mommy, I won second in the art contest.
What is this? The neighbor's daughter draws like Picasso, and her art was published in a magazine.
Mom, I came in third in the math quiz.
Well, that's disappointing. Your cousin just skipped 2 grades because she's a genius.
Mom always had something to say. Your cousin's a genius, and she's so perfect, and her farts smell like flowers. In 6th grade, I really started enjoying soccer and joined the team, but I hated it when Mom came to the games. She would shout instructions at me nonstop, and once at a match, she pulled me aside during halftime.
What are you doing? You haven't scored a goal once.
But I helped others score goals, and we're winning.
But no one's noticing you. You want to be a star or someone's sidekick.
I could feel Mom's eyes on me in the second half, and I didn't want to disappoint her again. My teammate was kicking the ball down to the goalpost, and suddenly I ran after her. I tackled the ball away and scored the winning goal myself. Our team won, but everyone was angry at me for stealing the ball from my teammate. I felt terrible, but Mom was ecstatic.
Did you see that my daughter scored the winning goal? Take that, losers!
I left the soccer team, but soon after, Mom took me to my first ballet, and I just knew what I wanted to do with my life. I'm going to be a ballerina, Mom. Mom encouraged me and hired a private instructor who trained me hard for the next few years. And in 9th grade, Mom enrolled me in a fancy private school, which had its own ballet team. On my first day, I was just signing up for the ballet club when I heard loud voices behind me. I turned around to see a gorgeous girl walk in, and for some reason, everyone seemed excited to see her. I thought I'd find out who she was, so I walked over with a form. Hi, are you signing up too? You can take this.
These forms are for nobodies like you. I'm already in.
Wow, what's with the attitude? And who are you?
I'm Tatiana's daughter, you fool.
What? Tatiana was a ballet superstar and my idol. I'd have to compete with her daughter. Okay, so having a famous mom doesn't mean you're any good because I've never even heard of you. I walked off before she could reply. Her name was Anastasia, and even though I'd played it cool, I was definitely intimidated. On the day of the auditions, I realized that my ballet shoes were missing. I had no choice but to borrow some spare ones for my performance. I calmed myself down as I stepped onto the stage, but just then I spotted Anastasia grinning at me from a corner. and I knew she had something to do with my shoes. I felt so bothered that I just couldn't focus. As I did a jump, I suddenly lost my balance and stumbled to the ground. I ran off the stage, my face blazing, and Mom was even angrier.
Tatiana's daughter did this. I went with that witch to school, and she was so aggressive and competitive. Of course, her daughter's just like her.
I was shocked the next day when the ballet teacher called me and said I'd been selected. I had no idea what changed her mind. Later, as I was putting stuff in my locker, Anastasia came and slammed it shut in my face.
Wow, you're such a cheater. You're only on the team because you're rich. Mommy bribed the principal. Yeah, I saw her here today. What was she talking about?
You're one to talk. I know you hid my shoes, and you keep using your famous mommy's name any chance you get. Well, now we're both here. May the best ballerina win. But I couldn't help wondering if Mom really had done something to get me on the team, so I asked her.
The principal and I are old friends. She owed me a favor.
Mom, that's cheating. I messed up.
You listen to me, Valerie. I will not have your chances ruined because of one mistake. Sometimes, to get ahead, you have to play a little dirty. Do you want to be on the team or not?
The truth was, I wanted it more than anything. It felt wrong, but I couldn't miss this chance. And by 11th grade, I'd worked so hard that I was the best in my class. Anastasia was really good, but I was better. We were soon performing in the year-end musical, and the teacher told us that professional ballet dancers would be attending. I knew Anastasia was burning because I had the lead role. Well, I'd earned my place. One rainy afternoon, I just picked up my new ballet dress from a shop, when suddenly a cyclist came charging down the pavement at full speed. I managed to jump out of the way but slipped on a puddle. I was about to land hard when someone caught me.
Whoa, gotcha!
I saw a boy with messy hair smiling down at me. Oh my God, you saved my life!
You're welcome, but you wouldn't have actually died.
Oh, I'm a ballerina. I can't afford to get injured, especially right now, so thank you.
Thank me by having lunch with me?
I can't. I don't have time to spare. And suddenly my stomach growled loudly.
Looks like you don't have time to eat either. Come on, I just saved your life.
And I gave in. His name was Seth, and he was in college. I was having such a good time that I hadn't even realized 2 hours had gone by. As he was leaving, he asked for my number. I didn't have much time to date, but he was cute and it was hard to say no. We began texting each other, and soon his messages became the highlight of my day.
Why are you always grinning like a moron these days? Is it a boy?
It's called None of Your Business.
So it is a boy. Well, if you have time to date, you're clearly not working hard enough.
Maybe some of us can do it all and still be the best. Seth and I went on our first official date soon, and being with him made me happy, so I made space for him in my crazy busy life. A few days later, I walked into school to find the halls buzzing with excitement, and I discovered it was because Tatiana was visiting. Sometime later, I went into the changing room, and I stopped short when I saw her there, my idol in the flesh. But just then, I noticed Anastasia and Tatiana started screaming at her.
You're telling me someone else got the lead in the school play? That's because your technique still isn't perfect. Why aren't you pushing yourself harder?
I work as hard as I can. Mom, I'm still one of the best.
There's no such thing. You're either the best or you're nothing. Oh, for God's sake, don't start crying. You know I can't stand it.
Saying that Tatiana left, my idol was a witch. And for once, I felt sorry for Anastasia. Hey, are you okay?
Valerie, were you spying on me? Did you hear everything?
I won't tell anyone, and your mom's wrong. Anastasia, I've seen how committed and talented you are. She's being unfair.
Who do you think you are, Mother Teresa? Did I ask for your pity? My mom's the best, and I will be too. I'm not gonna be nothing. You'll see.
Wow, these two were crazier than my mom. That afternoon, as I was leaving school, I was surprised to see Seth outside, leaning against a fancy car. Seth, what are you doing here?
Hi, I'm here for Miss Tatiana. I'm her driver.
OMG, your boyfriend is our poor driver. I thought you would have aimed a little higher, Val. Oh, maybe you can come work for us as the maid. The driver and the maid. So cute.
Seth's face turned red, and he got into the car silently. Tatiana soon joined them, and he drove off and he asked me to meet him the next day.
I'm not poor. I make good money, but I did lie that I'm in college because I wasn't sure what you'd think of me.
Why aren't you in college, Seth?
I'm taking a break. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet.
How can you live like that with no goals? You can't just be a driver. I regretted my words as I saw his hurt face.
I really admire you, Val. But there is more than one way to live. Your way doesn't have to be right for everybody.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Look, I want to take my time to find my passion and enjoy every moment like this one.
Suddenly, he leaned in and kissed me, and my heart soared. One night, as I got home from a date, I found Mom in panic.
Valerie, where were you? Why weren't you answering your phone?
Oh, I guess the battery died.
Do you know how worried I was when your instructor called and said you never turned up for rehearsal?
I stared at her in shock. How had I forgotten about my rehearsal completely?
You were with Seth, weren't you? Valerie, you have to break up with that boy.
But why?
Because he's a distraction and he's making you lose your focus. He has no goals or ambition.
You hardly know him. Mom, he's amazing and he cares about me.
But he doesn't get you. He's not right for you. You can be a superstar. Why are you letting him bring you down?
I missed one rehearsal. Big deal.
You would have never said that before you met him.
I felt so angry at Mom. Seth wasn't like me, but he made me happy. The school musical was the same day as my birthday, and Seth took me for a little picnic by the beach before dropping me at school. But suddenly, the car came to a stop in the middle of nowhere.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's nothing.
But the car just wouldn't start. This can't be happening. Why did I ever agree to go out with you today? It took a while for a cab to reach us, and I left without even looking back at Seth. But I still arrived 20 minutes after showtime, and I cried as I watched Anastasia out on the stage as the lead. Mom drove me home in complete silence, but I could feel her disappointment, and mine was even greater. So later that night, I decided to end things with Seth.
I'm really sorry, Val, but that could have happened to anyone.
No, Seth, it wouldn't have happened to me before. I would have been focused on only the show. Look, my career will always come first. And you'd understand that if you had some real goals in your life too. There was silence, and suddenly he hung up. I knew I'd hurt his feelings, and I felt devastated too, but it was the right thing to do. The next day, I was dreading seeing my team or Anastasia at school, but mostly I was feeling heartbroken over Seth. I went into the empty locker room and broke down into tears. Moments later, Anastasia came in. You're here to rub last night in my face? Go ahead, get it over with. You won. You're the best. Your mom must be so proud of you now.
Actually, she isn't. She made sure to remind me that I only got the lead because you didn't show up.
For a moment, we just sat there quietly. I saw you on stage last night and you were amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anastasia got selected by a famous dancer right after the musical. After high school, I got into a great dance academy in New York and soon joined the ballet company. I reached fame and success quickly, and I was living my dream life, and Mom was finally proud. A year later, I went back home for some shows, and to my surprise, I bumped into Anastasia one day. She looked different, and I was shocked to learn that she'd given up on professional ballet.
I'll always love ballet, but I just couldn't take all that pressure. I'm not like Mom or you, so I left it and I started a dance studio for young kids.
She looked so much happier now, and I was happy for her. One night, as I was performing, I suddenly spotted a face in the front row that made my heart skip a beat. Seth! After the show, he was waiting outside my dressing room.
I'm a journalist now, and I was in town to cover a story. I had to come see your show. You were magical, Val, and I'm so proud of you.
That means a lot. Thanks.
Got time for coffee with an old friend?
I was so happy to see him that I said yes. We kept seeing each other for the next few weeks, and I realized I'd really missed having him in my life. But a few days later, I found out I was being sponsored to go on a world tour by my company. I would be an international star. I met Anastasia and told her the amazing news, but she sensed something was bothering me, and I told her everything about Seth.
You should totally date him.
But I'm about to leave for a world tour. I won't have time for him, and I can't have any distractions.
That's your mom talking, Val. Listen, you can have all the fame and money in the world, but what's the point if you have no one to share it with? Being successful doesn't mean you have to be alone.
Anastasia was right, and the next day I met Seth and told him everything. This time, I don't want to choose. I don't want to give up one dream for another, but I'm moving soon for my world tour. And
Val, I wouldn't dream of holding you back. I travel for work all the time, and I can move to Europe while you're there. We can make this work. I let you walk away from me before, and I don't want to do that again. I love you, Valerie.
I love you too, Seth.
Hi, I'm Wendy from Sweden, and my story is really crazy. But before I begin, please like and subscribe. I lived in a creepy old house with my parents. It used to belong to my grandma, who was a very odd woman. She studied mysterious races in the world and brought back crates full of strange outfits and creepy items. And most people around thought our house was haunted.
Walk faster, a ghost girl will catch you.
Just then, I leapt out from behind a bush wearing a scary mask. I was just trying to be funny, but people thought I was the weird girl who lived in the scary house, and no one wanted to be my friend. And my parents never had much time for me either because they were always working.
This old house is a money pit. I need to work 2 jobs to keep it.
Please go to your room, Wendy. I'm in a meeting.
I wanted to help out, so I started giving ghost tours of the property. When my parents were away, I loved telling made-up stories about the freaky things I'd seen around the house. I even made up a murder or 2 and sold Mom's dresses with ketchup stains as souvenirs. I made a killing on Halloween, but when Mom and Dad found out, they were furious.
What's wrong with you, Wendy? Why can't you be sweet and well-behaved like other kids?
They took all my money and I was grounded for a month. I was so lonely and wished I had a sibling to play with. Then one day, when I was 12, I got the biggest surprise of my life. I went looking for a snack in the kitchen when I found a thin, pale boy my age instead.
Who are you and what are you doing in our pantry?
I'm Felix, your brother. Didn't your parents tell you they were adopting me?
What the flip? My parents had adopted a whole human and hadn't even bothered to tell me.
Typical!
I don't believe you. What proof do you have?
He waved some official-looking papers in my face. They looked legit.
My parents might have adopted you, but you still need to pass a few tests if you want to be my brother.
Bring it on!
We stood on our heads to see who could do it the longest, ate the worst carrot for lunch. And for the final task, we caught the fattest, slimiest fish and balanced them on our heads while we stood on one leg on the fence. Felix was great at it all.
Congratulations! You are officially my brother!
I was over the moon to finally have someone to play with, but my parents had to ruin that too.
You can't play with Felix anymore.
Why not? Didn't you adopt him so I'd have company?
We've decided it isn't a good idea. You can't play with him, and that's that.
But why?
Because we said so, and we're sending him away.
It was so unfair.
I felt angrier than I'd ever felt before, and I smashed the toy I was playing with into the wall. But suddenly I felt dizzy, and moments later, I blacked out. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed with a bald doctor and my worried-looking parents next to me.
Wendy's blood pressure shot up suddenly and she fainted. She's fine for now, but try to keep her as calm as possible. I'd also suggest you homeschool her for now.
Mom and Dad took me home. They were being very nice to me, which was suspicious. Now they said I could play with Felix as much as I wanted. But when I ran to his room to tell him the good news, he was glaring at me angrily.
What's wrong? Aren't you happy we can be friends again?
Friends? I just found out that your parents did not adopt me because they wanted to love me or give me a nice home. They just brought me here for you, like I'm some kind of toy. And they might just send me away at any time. I hate you, and I'm gonna make your parents hate you too. They'll realize they're better off having me as a kid. Trust me, I'm not going anywhere.
Felix, don't be like that. I've always wanted a brother.
I'm not your brother.
I was both angry and heartbroken by his changed attitude. But I hoped he'd change over time, but it was the complete opposite. Felix kept messing with my parents. He dropped the pearl earrings I borrowed from Mum down the drain, smashed Dad's laptop, and put dye in their body wash. They had shocking pink skin for weeks. And somehow my parents were always upset with me and thought I was acting out. They never seemed convinced when I said it was all Felix. Was he really turning my parents against me?
Stop being a jerk. These things cost money, and Mom and Dad work really hard, and stop making them think I'm doing all this.
Then just give up and go away yourself. There's only space for one of us here.
I'm not going anywhere, pal.
But then, the most terrible thing happened. A few days after my 13th birthday, we were visited by some people from the museum. They wanted to use Grandma's outfits and creepy items for a display, and they said they'd pay us a lot of money if we allowed them to borrow it for a few weeks. Mom and Dad were over the moon that the dirty junk around the house was worth something.
We can buy a new car and replace the laptop Wendy trashed.
We can pay off the mortgage and finally be debt-free.
This could change our lives for the better. But minutes before the people from the museum arrived to collect the things, I heard a huge crash from the basement. I went running to see all the things smashed and broken on the floor, and Felix standing in the middle with a stick!
Oops! I'm so sorry, I was just looking at them.
This time he had gone too far. I slapped him hard!
You did that on purpose, you jerk!
Just then, my parents came running in and looked at the mess in horror, and then they looked at me like I was the crazy one.
Why are you looking at me like I did this? He's ruined everything, and you're still gonna have him around. Why don't you send him away?
You want us to send your brother away? You got so upset before.
I was wrong about him, okay? He's not my brother. He's crazy, and he's dangerous.
Mom and Dad exchanged a weird long glance and nodded.
Fine. We'll send him to a special facility so he can get better.
That night, I locked my door, but I could still hear Felix screaming and crying in his room. The next day, he was gone. Mum and Dad looked sad and broken. They tried to be nice to me, but I saw right through them. They were sad because Felix had left, and I could never make them happy. In the fall, the doctor said it would be good for me to restart regular high school. Things were going really well on my first day until...
Hey, watch out! It's a ghost girl! I'm so scared!
Dude, grow up!
That wasn't all. In my very first class, I met the most bonkers girl.
I heard you were the ghost girl.
What's it to you?
I'm Tara. I just moved here from Ireland. Is it true your house is haunted? I'd love to meet a real-life ghost. I've dreamed of it my whole life.
Are you nuts? Who has creepy dreams like that?
You haven't read Dead Love Doesn't Die. It's the most romantic book ever. Are there handsome ghosts in your house? Are they single?
Girl, you need help!
No! I need a ghostly boyfriend with ice-cold lips and dreamy eyes who can transport me to his time and give me 1,000,000 ghostly kisses. And he'll
Was
take
there
me
something
away
wrong
to-
with me? First Felix and now Tara? Was I a weirdo magnet? For the next few weeks, she stuck to me like glue. At first, I acted indifferent because I wasn't sure she'd even stick around for too long. But she did. And I slowly started to enjoy having a friend.
Ha! Look, there's Ghost Girl and her vampire girlfriend! What, in the twilight?
Tara hissed and bit the jerk on his arm.
You're absolutely crazy.
Hey, no one messes with my friend. Yuck! He tasted disgusting. Let's go get candy.
How about I make you a sandwich at my place?
You mean it?
Tara instantly fell in love with the place.
This place is fantastic. Can you imagine the paranormal romances that could take place here?
I just laughed and went to the kitchen to get the sandwiches. But there was already someone in there.
Felix, what are you doing here?
I'm back. Of course, Mom and Dad didn't tell you. You would have forced them to keep me away.
It would be for their own good after the mess you made last time. What kind of facility allows home visits?
Ha! I'm not at a facility. They sent me on vacation to Bali to prove how much they loved me and wanted me in the family. I'm back now, and I'll make sure you end up in the facility soon.
I couldn't believe this was happening. I made some excuse and sent Tara home before Felix did something to her. When my parents got home, I confronted them.
You lied to me. He's dangerous and out to get me, but you still allowed him in our home.
Mom started to cry, and Dad glared at me.
You're upsetting your mother, Wendy. How long will this go on?
You don't even care that I'm upset too? You guys are the most selfish parents ever. I'm going to stay at my friend's house because I don't feel safe here.
You can't leave. We should call the doctor. I told you we shouldn't have sent her back to school.
Dad locked me in my room. I could hear Felix laughing under my door. He was evil. I had to get out of here. I called Tara and told her what was up. Within minutes, she was outside my window.
Come on, ghost girl. Let's get you to safety.
Tara's house was so normal. It was awesome. She pulled out a mattress for me to sleep in her room, then brushed my hair to calm me down as I told her everything.
Wow, your parents sound like a piece of work. And I finally get why you're so weird about being friends.
I can't trust anyone. My parents ignored me for so long and thought things would be different for me once Felix came. But he's the worst, and ever since he came, my parents treat me like I'm some lunatic. When he's the crazy one, he really scares me.
Don't worry, you're safe here. I'll punch his lights out if he tries to mess with you.
Suddenly I heard a loud tap on the window and he was standing outside. I screamed and jumped up.
It's him! Felix is here!
He was holding rocks in his hand and wore the evilest grin.
Where? I don't see anything.
Felix threw the first rock. It slammed against the window hard, leaving a deep crack.
Are you blind? He's right there!
Wendy, are you sure you don't, see ghosts or something? Because I can't see anyone.
Didn't you hear the rock hit the window? Look, it's left a crack!
What are you talking about?
What?
Why was Tara suddenly lying to me? Suddenly the door slammed open and my parents were standing there looking worried.
How did you find me? Did you tell them I was here? Tara, I thought you were my friend.
No, Wendy. Tara didn't tell us. We saw you sneaking out of the house and followed you. Let's go home.
No, you're just going to lock me up in my room again. What's going on? Tara says she can't see Felix. Is she lying or am I crazy?
The saddest look crossed my mom's face, and she broke down crying and hugged me.
No, Wendy, you're not crazy.
That's when they told me how they'd never adopted a boy named Felix.
We thought he was just a harmless, imaginary friend. But when you started seeing him all the time, we tried to stop it by saying we'd send him away.
The doctor said you had created Felix to help with your feelings of being alone, and we should play along, so we agreed. But then you started acting out and blaming it on Felix.
We were so glad when you finally sent him away yourself. We thought things were going to be okay now. But then you said you saw him again, and
We just can't see you like this, sweetie, and it's all our fault. We should have given you more time when you were a kid.
I was in utter shock.
So everything Felix did, the earrings, the laptop, the items.
It was all you, but we weren't mad about any of it. We were just worried about you.
But if Felix was the friend I made up, why was he suddenly so mean to me?
Your doctor said you suffered from low self-esteem. In your mind, no one wants to be friends with you for long.
Are you real? Can you guys see Tara?
I could pinch you!
Ouch. Okay, you're real.
Don't worry, dear. We talked to your doctor, and he says we can start therapy sessions now. You'll be fine.
And we'll be with you all the way.
Me too!
They all took me in a big bear hug, and suddenly I didn't feel alone at all.
Hey friends, I'm Elena from Moldova. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a small village to a single mother who achieved great success when she relocated to the metropolis. My mum was an entrepreneur, and every business she'd start would become a gold mine. And Mum spoiled me rotten. I just had to look at something and she'd get it for me. For my 7th birthday, I asked her if I could have a bigger swimming pool. And she had a water park installed in her backyard. My friends and I were ecstatic when we saw it. Oh, Mom, my God, Mom, you're the best!
Anything for you, dear. And don't forget the doctor's advice. Speak slowly, and you won't stutter as much.
Yeah, I used to stutter a lot when I was young. I mostly had it under control, but it could get worse when I was nervous or excited. But aside from that, my life was perfect, and everyone wished they were me. That is, until the 10th grade, when Mom's company stock crashed one day and she was left with nothing. We were gonna lose our house! I decided to ask my friends for help, but that's when they all revealed their true nature.
So sorry, Elena, but we're facing financial problems too.
I want to assist, but my dad works incredibly hard, and I doubt he'll give your mom any money. He always claims she got wealthy purely by chance.
Luck? My mom works really.
Your mom works really hard? I don't think so, and Dad's right. Now go away, please. We don't have all day for you to finish your sentence.
Gosh, people could change so fast. We did lose the house, and Mom decided to send me to her hometown to live with a friend for a while, though I hated the idea of being away from her.
I agreed for her sake. By the time I landed at the airport, I was already homesick. But just then I saw a boy my age holding a placard with my name. Hey, you must be here for me. Wow, it's really hot here. Wait, aren't you gonna pick up my bags?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Gabriel, and guess what? I'm not your servant, so pick them up yourself.
How rude! I carried my bags and followed him outside, only to find a donkey. Where's the C.F.R?
Gosh, you sound like a broken record. That's your ride, princess, so hop on.
That was my first experience on a donkey cart. I didn't mind, but the entire journey I felt like hitting this boy Gabriel for mocking me. Mom's friend was delightful though. She embraced me the moment she saw me and then led me to a tiny room. This is so cute! My cat has a room just like this.
I had to leave my room for this city brat. Look, if you don't like it, you can always sleep in the basement. It's got lots of space. And pets too. A family of rats.
What a jerk. I wouldn't have lasted a day there without his amazing mom. And I mostly tried to pretend he didn't exist. A week later, I started school. And surprisingly, I made friends instantly. But soon I discovered why. All the girls wanted to know what it was like living under the same roof as Gabriel. Not great, because he's a moron.
A handsome moron!
A few days later, our school was having a football match, and I volunteered as the water girl. Gabriel was team captain, and all the girls were chanting his name. Geez, so lame! Sure, he was handsome, but just a little. I was so busy looking at him that I didn't notice this player trying to catch a ball. And he crashed straight into me. Are you trying to kill me? Watch where you're going!
Great advice. I'll remember it for next time.
He just smiled like an idiot. And before running off, he winked at me. The next day, I saw the same player outside my school, with thousands of roses. As soon as he spotted me, his silly smile was back.
Hey, beautiful. These are for you. By the way, I'm Nova.
Wow! That's a lot of roses. Thanks. Nova was on the football team of another school, but he just turned up outside every day to ask me out. I kept saying no, but he wasn't taking it. And then one day at home, I saw a car pull up outside with Nova in the back seat. But just then I saw Gabriel's mum go to the car. And the driver stepped out, handed her an envelope, and left. What was that all about? Later I asked Gabriel's mum, and she told me her husband used to work for Nova's dad. And even after he was gone, the family kept helping her with money. They were even paying for Gabriel's school. Wow! That made me see Nova in a different light. So the next time he asked me out, I said yes. When Nova picked me up for our first date, he said, I was surprised. This is where you live. How do you know these people? I told him everything about why I had moved here.
I'm sorry, that sounds tough. But just be careful of that Gabriel.
What do you mean?
Gabriel's dad worked for us, and we'd play together as kids. But I always felt like he resented us, especially me. Like he hates me because I was born rich and he wasn't. I'm sure he has nothing nice to say about me. Even after everything my family does for him.
I didn't have trouble believing that. Gabriel was always mocking me too, for being some rich brat. My date with Nova was totally unexpected. Instead of taking me to some fancy restaurant, he took me to a soup kitchen for the homeless, and we signed up as volunteers.
I always come here when I want to do something special. Feels good, doesn't it?
This boy was so sweet. When he dropped me back home, I found Gabriel on the porch.
Seriously? You're dating Nova? Did the rest of the male population die?
What's your problem? He's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah? So where'd you go on a date? Was it an orphanage this time? Or a pet shelter to see some poor puppies? That's the kind of stuff he does on first dates to impress girls.
I don't expect you to understand what it means to be genuinely nice.
I didn't expect you to be this dumb. But hey, you surprised me. Actually, you guys deserve each other. Two spoiled brats.
Nova was right about him. He sounded so judgy and bitter. I started going out with Nova and was having a good time. But he was always too generous with fancy dinners and gifts, which made me uncomfortable. Nova, I wish you wouldn't. I can't give you gifts like these.
I'm not expecting anything. But I can spoil my girlfriend, can't I?
He gently kissed me for the first time. And I didn't exactly feel sparks. And I felt he was falling for me much too fast. The next morning, I didn't see Gabriel or his mom anywhere. And then I found them both in her room. She was in bed with a high fever. When we called the doctor, he said she'd caught some virus. He advised us to stay home from school for 2 weeks too. I really wanted to help in some way, so I made soup for her. I was carrying it up to her room when Gabriel stopped me.
What's that?
It's soup. Mom would give this to me when I was sick.
No, thanks. You're not giving that to my mom. How would you know how to cook anything when you never had to lift a finger?
And suddenly I snapped. Gabriel, can you just shut up for once? Yeah, I used to be rich. It's not a crime, and I'm not useless and spoiled. I pushed him aside and went up with the tray. Gosh, I was so sick of him. Later at night, there was a knock on my door, and Gabriel peeked in.
I'm sorry about earlier. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have, but it's okay. I get that you're worried about your mom.
Yeah, but I haven't been very nice to you. I'll be better.
After that day, Gabriel and I kinda became friends. We took turns caring for his mom and doing household chores. And at night, we'd sit outside and talk for hours. He was sweet and simple and was really starting to grow on me. 2 weeks flew by and his mom recovered completely. One day, Gabriel was working in the garden while I was reading and observing how good he looked, when suddenly he spoke.
Hey, Elena, can you check if the water is coming from the hose? I don't know if it's broken or...
Just as I picked it up, water came gushing straight at my face, and Gabriel was laughing like crazy.
Gosh, you are so easy to trick.
I picked up a handful of mud as he ran off. As I was chasing him, he tripped and fell, and then I rubbed the mud all over his face.
What are you doing to her? Jerk!
Nova was about to attack Gabriel when I stopped him. Hey, we were just playing. I started it.
And why were you doing that? Did you forget I was picking you up for dinner?
You're gonna tell her what she can and can't do now.
The boys looked ready to kill each other. So I dragged Nova aside and told him to wait in the car while I cleaned up. I had totally forgotten about dinner at his place. Nova lived in a mansion with his dad, who welcomed me warmly.
You're living with Gabriel and his mom, right? His father was a close friend of mine.
Friend? Come on, Dad, he was our servant. Dad's really soft-hearted and likes helping people. Gabriel would have never gone to school if it weren't for him.
And I'm glad I helped because that boy is hardworking and will make something of himself. Unlike some entitled rich kids I know.
Just then his dad excused himself and Nova flung his plate at the wall.
This is what happens every time I bring that jerk up. Dad has always liked Gabriel more than me.
I'm sure that's not true.
Don't think I'm blind or stupid. You like Gabriel more too, don't you? You've been avoiding me for 2 weeks just to spend more time with him.
Are you crazy? I told you his mom was unwell.
Liar!
I stared at him in shock and he suddenly snapped out of his anger.
Elena, I'm sorry.
I'd like to go home, please. I felt shaken. On my way back, Nova was turning out to be really strange. And at home, Gabriel was sitting in the kitchen with an unpleasant face.
You're back early.
Were you waiting for me?
Yeah, waiting to tell you that you're an idiot for dating Nova. He's fake and horrible. Why can't you see that? Are you blinded by his expensive gifts or too impressed by his mansion?
I was gonna tell him I was breaking up with Nova, but that made me so mad. There you are. Back to being a jerk. Mind your own business, Gabriel. And don't talk to me. Gabriel and I stopped talking after that day, and I broke up with Nova too. He kept begging me to forgive him, but I held my ground. He was just too much. A few days later, Mom called me with the most amazing news. Her company was up and running again, and she wanted me to come home. I decided I'd leave right after the final exams the next week. There was nothing keeping me here. Anyway, after exam week, there was a big football match between our school and Nova's, and I made sure to sit far behind on the bleachers so he wouldn't spot me. The match was an intense one. Gabriel and Nova kept butting heads on the field and almost broke into a fight. But our team won by a large margin, and Nova stormed off the field furiously. Gabriel looked so happy, and I wanted to congratulate him. I thought I'd catch him outside the locker room. But I walked into the building to find two guys pinning him against the wall as Nova punched him. "Stop it! Nova, don't hurt him!" Nova turned to me with crazy eyes.
Oh, how worried you are now. But you didn't care when you hurt me. I know you broke up with me because you have feelings for this worm. After all that money I spent on you. I thought because you were rich once you'd have some class, but you're just cheap.
You're a psycho. And yeah, I like Gabriel a lot. Now I understand why your dad likes him better.
You'll pay for saying that. I'll make sure Dad stops giving them any money. I'll convince him. You'll see.
No, you won't, Nova, because I've seen everything I needed to, and I am so disappointed in you.
We turned around to see Nova's dad, who'd come to see the match, and he looked furious. He grabbed Nova's arm and led him away. Gabriel, are you okay? Your face!
I'm fine, Elena.
I should have listened to you about Nova.
No, I was unfair and mean to you, and I'm really sorry about what you said back there. Is it true?
Which part?
The part where you said you like me a lot.
Yeah, I like you. Big deal.
Like me because I like you?
I guess it's just you then. He grinned and pulled me in for a kiss, and it was perfect.